Welcome back, Stas23 here, back again with some knife therapy, and today I had something really exciting. At least I think it's super exciting. I got a package the other day from Mr. Brian Kim of Transparent Knives, and Brian is a super talented custom knife maker who makes some incredible fixed blades. On top of that, he does some regrinds on production knives as well. And what that is, basically, this is 4 samples. I have more of his, but he takes something that is either thick and grinds it down to a nice thin apex so it slices very, very good, or even something that's, decently thin like these two, and he makes them even thinner. You definitely want to make sure that the steel has, the properties to be able to handle that thin apex. But I chose wisely, and some of them I just didn't care because they were not the best cutters. This is some of his work right here. Y'all probably seen it on the channel. This is the Hogue Deca that he reground for me. These things are already decently thin. He made it into a laser beam. My Rex 45 Para 3. When I say this thing is probably the biggest. Look how thin it is right here at the tip. I mean, slices like nobody's business. I need to resharpen that. I use that one a lot. It's got the worker scales, Super Knives worker scale on there. And then my bug out, another laser beam right here. This is another, I use this one a whole lot. It's got the Lotus micarta Flytanium scales on there with a rock scale design backspacer. And this one probably had the most improvement out of all these because of how thick this one was. This is the Blade HQ exclusive Dapper, the Vox design. It was just super thick behind the edge, and he made it a full flat grind, bringing that thing down nice. I mean, you can see how thin. Very, very nicely done there. And his work's amazing. He takes his time. He makes sure he doesn't blow through your heat treat by making sure the blades stay cool. He takes all the necessary precautions, and he does that same thing with his fixed blades. He does some awesome work. If you're not following Brian, or you look up Transparent Knives on Instagram, or he has a website too, Transparent Knives, go check him out. You will love what you see, I promise, if you're into knives. So this package is from Brian. Another thing that Brian started offering a while back was reblades. He started out making reblades for Benchmade 940s, I believe, and then he went to the bug out. And basically what a reblade is he basically makes you an entire new blade with a nice cutting geometry on it. You can change the shape somewhat as long as it fits into the handle. He puts a custom heat treat on it. He usually has them rock weld, in the upper 60s or 60s, and you can change the blade steel up. So, like I said, started out with the 940, then the bug out, and then I think it was back in February of this year, could be wrong, somewhere in that area, he started tinkering with the Demko AD20.5, and he was seeing if he could pull off a reblade for the AD20.5, and that is awesome because even though this AUS 10 on this particular one is good, I was able to get it screaming sharp, no chipping in the edge. My clip point in AUS 10, not the same story. I've had some pretty bad chipping on that one. I think I've sharpened it out by now, but not my favorite steel in the first place. I love the overall knife. It's comfortable in hand. I like the shark lock. It's fun, fidgety, and whenever I saw him, trying to work out the reblades for these knives, I got super excited. Very, very excited. Well, he reached out to me and said, hey, would you want to do all your testing on one of my reblades so you can, be part of the R&D process, basically, to test out, his lock fitment. The key things are to these is to try to make a reblade to where he doesn't have to have your scales in hand to do the reblade. The tolerances on these are way better than that of the Bug Out and 940, to which there's so many different variations of it. To get a really good fitment, he almost needs your actual knife, and he can fit it to your lock. So choosing the AD20.5, the tolerances he thinks are tight enough that he won't have to do that, and he could just make the blades and sell them accordingly. Or you order a blade in the steel you want. I think Rockwell, all that good stuff. However he sets that up, and he doesn't have to wait on any of your stuff. He just makes it, sends you out the blade, and you put it in your scales. So he asked me if I would test out one. He did a reblade for me and my buddy Jared from Neves Knives, and both of our blades are in Magnacut. He asked us what Rockwell we wanted and how thin we wanted it, and here we go. Here's my knife. Well, I liked the overall blade shape of the shark foot. I didn't like the blade to handle ratio. There was a lot of handle left out. Well, he kind of fixed that on this one. So I went similar to that blade. Now it's different. Are you ready for this? Wham! Look at that. Oh man, oh man. So he asked me if I wanted to have a blade a blade hole or a thumb stud. I went with the thumb stud because Jared went with the slot, so I just figured, or he went with the hole, like a Spidey hole. So I just figured I would do something. I would go with the different route so we could both have a different one. And I'm glad I went with the thumb studs. This looks like Steve Kelly titanium studs, if I had to take a guess. This thing is Rockwell to 64 point something. I don't remember the exact, after that, but 64 HRC, ground down nice and thin. I mean, this is going to be a super cutter. I cannot wait to start testing it. Fitment on mine so far, lockup's good. I don't have any play. The action is actually better than this particular one because Brian lapped the area where the bearings would be riding on. So this thing is ridiculously smooth. His attention to detail and his craftsmanship are just amazing. So there you go. There's the two blades side by side. If y'all can't hear the excitement in my voice. Oh, these scales right here with the frag pattern TerraTough blue TerraTough scales were made by Carbonized with a K on Instagram. And these are the goat scales, the aluminum frag goat scales, the new ones they had sent me out. So, and I got the deep carry Lynch clip on there. Nice sharpening choil. That's going to give me a good bit of life to sharpen on there, as you can see. See, that's the way you do it. When you go up like that into the plunge like that, that means you can have all that extra room to sharpen. It's not going to thicken up abruptly on you. Look at the grind work. Absolutely stunning. Like I said, I don't know, what he offers detail-wise. And he's super responsive, super nice. If you ever have a question about, like, say, if you want to get one of these reblades done, if you have a question for him, just reach out to him. He'll answer you as soon as he can. I know he's a busy man. He is constantly working on people's orders. So, one-man band, and does incredible work. He doesn't let, I've noticed Brian's a perfectionist. He doesn't let subpar work leave his shop. He'll do seconds sales if he's not happy with something, even though I'm sure most of us would be happy with, his seconds, because I know I've tried to buy several of his seconds. I wasn't fast enough because, it's still his custom work on there. I definitely would love to hear y'all thoughts. Are you planning on picking up one of these? If you've never heard of Brian, you need to go check him out. Do yourself a favor, go check him out. Like I said, these regrinds started my obsession with his work, and he impressed me so much that I, became, I'd like to say, friends with him, because he's always answering my questions. If I have any kind of knife maker questions for him, he'll answer them for me, and always super nice. So this is coming. I'm going to be doing a lot of testing on this. I will shoot footage of it. Hopefully that's something y'all would want to see. Testing some custom heat treated Magnacut. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I'll leave Transparent Knives, the links down in the description. So if you have any questions for them, don't be afraid to ask. All I can say is no. And I hope everybody's having an awesome day. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.